Hello legends, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at others versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin versus gold, Bitcoin itself and what it would take for me to flip bearish, if that's even possible. But firstly, a lovely bit of news. Sailor has just bought over $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now, well, I say Sailor. Someone's going to be in the comments. It wasn't Michael Saylor. It was his company Strategy that bought it. It wasn't Saylor. It was his company Strategy. I've just bought over $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. I mean, study conviction. This man is not bothered about what the price is going to be in a couple of weeks' time, in a couple of months' time. He's looking at the bigger picture. Lesson there. Now, others versus Bitcoin. Beautiful. When we look at the RSI as well, you can see how we've managed to hold this trend line all the way back since April 2025. Granted, we did see a bit more of a downward shift, but since then, other than this crime wick here that I'm happily disregarding right now, we have managed to maintain a nice bit of structure to the upside when we look at this lower trend line. Clearly, there's a bit of work to do before we break up and out of here, but we've formed quite a nice wick here. We've got a little hammer going on the 3-day time frame, as I say. So when we see candles like this on larger time frames, it typically spells good news. I just think it's a matter of time before things start really moving. When we look at Bitcoin against gold as well, this is on the weekly chart, and if I just zoom out a little bit, you can see we've only got to these depths 3 times since the 10th of December 2018, so 7 years. So it's quite a significant point, and you can see where we've pushed up a little bit from here. But I am not blind to the fact that when this happened last time, we saw a bit of a rise in the RSI, in price as well. The low of this candle was at 181.68 million. After we had that initial rally, there was one last sell-off, and you can see that was quite aggressive there as well. But it only just took out this low, and it went to 173.21 million before then going on to make new highs. And we're at a very similar point now as well. What's more interesting to note, we are at key support here. You can see it was a brief bit of resistance here for a few weeks before we had that impulse move higher, came back for a retest, and away we went. We are back there again. Now, the worst case scenario for me at the minute is we break this support and we come down to this level here at 320 million. You can see it was this swing high here. It was this little cluster of resistance here. If I just zoom in a little bit. So when we were there, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of resistance before we had that thrust candle that pushed us to the new level. Now, that level is naked, it's untested. So I am expecting, if we get down there, which is looking fairly likely at the moment, I am expecting quite a nice reaction there, and it will coincide nicely as well with where we are on the RSI. So that's Bitcoin versus gold. Bitcoin now. What would it take for me to flip bearish? Now, long term, I'm always bullish, because if I just zoom out real quick, as I often do, this is an asset that over time only goes up, which is why I never get too phased or fussed by dips. So now we've got that out of the way. Short term, what do I need to see? Well, for the bull run to remain intact in the short term, in my opinion, this is just personal preference now, I need to see us get back above 100k. You can see it's such a significant region, both technically and psychologically as well. We've had a stab at it. We ran up to 97.8k and we've been unable to maintain momentum when we were up there. So if we came down here, I wouldn't be too concerned, but if we got down here around the 74, 73k region, I think if we start coming down here and we take this out, we are almost certainly going to take out this swing low here, and we have spoke about that before. If this level goes, then I'll be thinking, oh no, we're in for a few months of agony. But we're not there yet. In fact, we're nowhere near it. We're still at 90k. But the reason I wanted to bring this up and say what would it take for me to flip bearish is because I am very well aware that all my posts are bullish, and that is just because I'm so bullish on crypto as a whole in the long run. So price over the next year or two is really not that great a concern for me, and I know we all want it to move, don't we? We want our ports to absolutely send, and I do as well. But I just don't want anyone thinking, oh, he's just bullish and blind to the fact that we're having down days and all the rest of it. Yeah, we are, but that low got made on the 17th of November and we haven't revisited it. So from November up till now, the price action, in my opinion, although it's been sideways, has been really positive. We've seen some alts rip over 100%, some of the smaller alts. So in my mind, that's quite positive still. But what I want to see next, certainly over the coming weeks, is for Bitcoin to crack this. I think if we can crack 100k convincingly, that will just ease so much pressure. If we can get a good push above, a solid retest, and take out the previous high it makes before coming back for a retest, that would spell very good news. And I think alts would start picking up some serious momentum as well. But that all remains to be seen. I hope you've got something out of this video. Leave a comment if you've got any questions. And in the meantime, trade safe, keep the faith, stay bullish. Cheers.